Growing up disabled with a limited disabled surrounding. Hey Gucci Gang, I'm Joe Sooch. Maybe you have noticed, or maybe you haven't. I have an extreme disability. I try to make myself look as normal as possible, especially on camera being showcased to the world. Wanna look good, right? Right. Well, here I look relatively normal. Maybe you wouldn't notice, but as soon as I start to move or get off camera, you would notice ASAP. For me, I have a rare disease called FOP where my muscles turn into bones. What's unique is that I was born a healthy baby. And year by year, I lost one body part, then another, till now I'm 29 years old and lost 95% of my body. The only joint not affected are my wrists and fingers. I could lose movement at any day and that's it. The bones it grows and locks the joint into place. That's it. Surgery will cause more bones to grow, so yep, I'm just for a good point of reference. My body progressed to the point that my disability is very apparent. Can't move my arms or neck. I can't walk with a severe scoliosis. On top of that, I can't swallow, so I have this cup to spit my saliva out, thus needing a tube in my stomach to feed myself. Since I am super disabled, I can't even feed myself. Just to repeat, yes, I'm What made my upbringing more unique is I was born deaf or became deaf at a very young age. You know, before I could talk. Just hearing alone before you can talk can affect your speech and language and grammar skills. I got hearing aids so I can hear, but my speaking skills were absolutely dog shit with a huge speaking impediment. Super common. I'm sure you can hear it from time to time. That's showbiz, baby. All of this is recorded so I can keep redoing my talking bit till it's perfect. Definitely hear it more on my podcast and free-form chatting. My grammar skills were terrible and I was on a beep struggle bus. Maybe I'm just a dumb kid or that part of the brain didn't develop properly, so I needed extra help. My disease didn't affect my brain. I am sane, but like in a cool way. People call it very attractive. The hearing loss affected my developmental a lot, so I was grouped with the special kids. I needed that special care with my education and my well-being of being safe. It was appropriate for me. Everybody saw I was progressing fine except the grammar and speaking skills, but that takes years to perfect. 17 years for me, basically. Anyways, I mingled with the normal kids and did well. It's good for social skills and want to fit in with regular society. It was good for me because I wouldn't kept grounded and I was able to shoot upwards and grow. If I stayed in a special class, I would be at the same level because the lower denominator would hold everybody down. That's why hanging out with regular people is more attractive because I am lifted to their level and standards and maybe lose a little bit benefit. The other group would be grounded to the lowest denominator and many would suffer because everybody needs to be included. It's harsh, but that's reality. Some of these kids are able to leave due to being mentally there, while others will never leave. Some of them will probably never understand, unfortunately. Huge kudos to those teachers who have the patience to deal with their somewhat unpredictable behaviors and understanding each individual ways of doing things. Anyways, that was my interaction with the special kids for a good few years. Hung out with normal kids and such. I lost my arms movement at like 7, but that didn't really stop me. I did things differently, but still felt at the same level as the rest of the kids. My brain was totally there, but I was naive and innocent and curious. I guess we were all there, but still cringe looking how nerdy I was. I'll throw up a throwback picture. Middle school I went to, I think, for a year or two at a summer camp at the YMCA for the disability and developmental disabilities. I remember some physically disabled kids, but many with developmental problems. It was great because the staff were there to really understand each person's needs and safety. I had a lot of fun. I wish I didn't have a physical disability so I could appreciate it more. And now I have to learn grammar in the middle of summer. My biggest problem was really I would group with all these kids so I would lower to their level. I don't know the statistics, but a lot of physical disability will have a mental disability along with it. Or at least it is assumed. I was no different. It kind of makes sense. A person doesn't stop at one disability. There's always a second one just waiting to be discovered. I am sure you can tell, but I am extremely brilliant and extremely witty and very quick on my feet and eccentric. Even now at 29, I still have trouble finding people who matches my brilliance. Anyways, I talked to the counselors a lot because I was at their level intelligently, where many of the kids couldn't amount to do much. A lot of these kids is not aware of life due to the mental handicaps, and I get it. The whole being grouped in with them and disabled people have to fight hard to accomplish something. A disabled person wouldn't be at the specific camp if they were as severely disabled like I was and just go to a regular camp. I needed the care and understanding. And you are probably wondering if I hang out with people with my disease, and the answer is no. I mean, I'm sure you weren't wondering, but let's talk about it since I brought this topic up. My parents went for the ignorance is bliss route to not meet anybody. My disease is absolutely brutal at the end. Me right now, so better to not know what the future holds depending on who you ask. I met a few at a fundraiser. Not afraid to admit it, I thought I was better than them. The ableism means even though I was disabled too. They did nothing wrong and were pretty nice. I was being a piece of hot garbage. Now the past few years I'm more involved in my rare disease community and nonprofit, making videos to benefit me but also help raise money and help with video production. I bring something new and different to the table. Took the advocacy into my own hand and carved a piece of advocacy instead of waiting to be picked to do something. I resubmerged myself in the disability community again and see what's up. I am older, so maybe things changed. I started the podcast, Mics One JoeySooch, to really talk to other disabled folks or chronic illnesses. Join support groups. Learn so much cool shit. I realized there are thousands, no, hundreds of thousands of disabled folks out there. Some are really cool and some are super lame, just like regular people. It's just these camps brought out the worst of these groups, and I was always with them, so that's why I always hung out with regular people. You know, increase my chances of meeting a person at my caliber. It's also my fault with my personality and severity of my disability. I can't blame people and stuck in a weird, tough place. It's a tough place because I'm disabled, and if somebody is disabled, we are stuck at a low level. Of course, disability varies dramatically, so let's do the medium kind of severity of disability to the extreme. Put me with an able-bodied person, and I can do a lot more, and can be helped standing up, and a lot more options on the table. Is it an ableist way of thinking? It sure is, but it's very justifiable. If we are both disabled, then we both suffer. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the morning.